Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first one is a UFO out of Quebec, Canada. Second, I have this UFO out of Singapore. Almost crashes into an airplane, they claim. This is out of Winters, California. You see this cigar shape moving across the sky. Also have this other one out of Abilene, Texas. This video out of Abilene, Texas. We see this thing. It's not necessarily the clearest video, but there's definitely something there. This is an amazing 1.5 hour documentary. Actually, it's several different stories, but mainly it's about this guy Martin Stubbs, who worked at a cable broadcast facility, and because he had the equipment, he was able to download transmissions from all of the shuttle flights, and he caught some pretty amazing things. Let's see. This is also a video about the secret space shuttle. A lot of times, whenever they would put up the space shuttle, there was always these additional astronauts on board doing special assignments and things like that. And apparently a lot of times they were doing top secret missions up there. Yeah, a lot of times they would send up these payload specialists with the astronauts, and usually the payload specialists were working on top secret stuff up there. So we'll take a look at that. These are videos of what the sky on other planets look like. This happens to be Venus. This is the surface of Venus. This was taken from the Russian Venera program, where they landed a probe on Venus. So if you want to know what Venus looks like, this is it. Here is this. It's a longer video, but the only one I was really concerned with is this last one here. This is supposed to be a shark, and you can see, here's a comparison of what a person would look like. But check, I think this is a megalodon. Anyways, this is a article. Actually, there's two videos, but it talks about all of the polygon architecture that went on in the past, and how I believe it wasn't done by Earthlings. It wasn't. Yeah, this wasn't created by hunter-gatherers. These are hunter-gatherers. They did not create any of these polygonal structures. So we'll take a look at that too. So let me go back to the beginning here. Let me go full screen. This is, like I said, this is out of Quebec, Canada. Well, yeah, this guy's all over the place. Well, you can see how, how high it actually is. So when he zooms in with his phone, I'm sure it's hard for him to keep that thing centered. I've tried taking things in the sky, and it's very, very hard to maintain a steady hand. You really need a tripod doing these shots. But thank God this guy shot full screen, huh? This isn't a graduate of the filmmaking school of vertical cinematography. Thankfully, that's a. Let me see if I can get if I can stop it. Nice clear shot right there. That's about as clear as you're gonna get. I wonder what that is. But the whole thing is, is him trying to get this thing in a good frame, and he's not able to do it. You really need a tripod for this. But anyways, let me go on to this next video. This one is, like I said, near collision with UFO captured on camera with Singapore Airlines. Let's see if this video is still going to be in here. Yeah, I think it happens. Actually, it happens near the end.
You will need to be seated. To brace, place your feet flat on the floor across your wrist and hold on to the seat back in front of you. Rest your hands on your wrists. Place your feet flat on the floor. Bend over, place your face in your lap. Put your arms under your legs and grasp.
Oh, I know what's going to happen. I think this plane goes into a dive, and then just before it goes in here, watch this. Here it comes. It's going to come up now. They're going into a dive. Oh, I missed. There it goes. Do you see that? Watch it again. There it goes. I mean, one more time. Let's see. I don't want to go back as far. It's at 103. So let me just go back to about 58 seconds. Let me see if I can. I'm. Okay, let's see it at 102. Probably shows up right about 1. There it here. There. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's amazing that it seems like these guys are going into a dive. But anyways, and then it just ends. That's all this video does. Okay, let me go on to this next one here. Yeah, this is kind of interesting here. This is out of Winters, California, and this was just put up on this just happened on the 12th. Now, let me go back. Start this, and you'll see this object come right here, right next to this tree. Here it comes. There it is. And then it's going to disappear for a second. And then reappear. And move on. Look at that 3 lights. Look at the 3 lights. And this is a craft that's been filmed, photographed hundreds of times. I can say hundreds, definitely hundreds of times. So these aren't visitors, folks. These are, to me, it's pretty obvious that they're crafts that are sharing the planet with us, and we just happen to see them occasionally whenever they're doing their routine, whatever routines they're involved in. I'm sure some of them are coming to check us out and things like that, but we're not alone on this planet. And thinking back to all of these UFO videos that have been played for all these years, going back to Roswell, and think about all the UFO shows that are on cable, right? How many of you people that are into UFOs have been watching all the different UFO shows on cable? So this 180-day disclosure, what are they going to disclose to us? Well, I mean, I'm going to speculate that they're going to disclose that we're not alone on this planet. Because what else could they tell us, as if we don't already know that that there's all of these crafts out here? But anyways, let me play this one here. This one, it's not the easiest to see. Let's see. Let me turn this thing down too, because these guys are driving instead of stopping and filming this thing. But yeah, you can see there's something right there. There it is. Yeah, this isn't the the best video. I don't understand why this guy sees a UFO and he can't just pull over for a sec. You're gonna get some amazing footage, but yeah, that's it right there. It's 3 minutes, and it's just just this bouncing around. So I'm not gonna play any more of it, but I will leave a link in the description. Let me go to this video here. Yeah, this video here. There's a lot involved in it. It's an hour and a half, but it talks about NASA's secret transmission. But this guy is Martin Stubbs, and he worked at a cable broadcasting station out of I think it was Toronto, somewhere in Canada. But because he had the equipment, he had the opportunity, he decided to download all of the transmissions from every single shuttle flight. He said that he had all of this additional tape, so as soon as the shuttle took off, he'd put the tape in and hit play, and if the if the shuttle mission lasted 10 days, he taped for 10 days. If it lasted 6 days, he taped for 6 days. But he says he did not stop that tape until the shuttle landed. And, every 8 hours, he would put in another tape. So he was really good about that. And apparently he captured, well, he says there's 3 different phenomena. He captured some type of object in our orbit, in the sky, but he also says he captured these 2 things. Let me see if I can go to that section.
Extraordinary story.
Yeah, well, yeah, he talks about these round objects here, and this goes back to STS-75 when they were supposedly testing some kind of new energy gathering device, and it broke off. But according to Martin, that this notion that it broke off, isn't true. He says that that this thing was specifically, most likely made in order to draw all of these things out. But let's see. Let me go back to
that of why no one from the year 1991 till 1994 had bothered to look at any other footage. And I was quite naive and wasn't aware it was all being downloaded because I bought into the popular culture or the urban myth that they were scrambling at it and it wasn't available since 48. I've been an editor for 25 years as well as everything else. And I spend an awful lot of my day looking at videotape at amazingly fast speeds, reviewing people's programs for critique reasons and things. Sure. My eyes are trained, and I kept seeing something. So when I started breaking the frames down, I found you still couldn't find it. You'd go from this frame to this frame, and there'd be a quick movement. So then I had to get a videotape recorder, an SVH machine, an older model, funny enough, not the digital model, that literally, when you rolled the thing, it would break the frames into fields. And in reality, there are 60 individual pictures that make up 1 second of video. And that's when I found them.
So you were finding these on one of those 60 frames?
Yeah, there, he was finding these objects here. And like he said, it would only come up in a half a frame, which means that they were going by in a half a second. And, initially I thought that maybe these were just like specks of dust or something. But according to some of the astronaut dialogue that he happened to listen to, sometimes these objects would float around the astronauts' faces and then take off in an instant. And then also, let me see if I can find these other things that he talks about that were taken on STS-75. This thing here. Well, you know what? Let me, at the end. Here we go. Yeah, this is what he's talking about, how
the camera has now moved to a point.
Now, yeah, NASA wants to say that these are dust particles or these are ice crystals. But, you can obviously see that these things are moving at different speeds and in different directions. And yeah, and look at all those other things that are flying by. Those aren't comets. Like look at this thing here. Yeah, and initially in this footage, they're looking for the ISS, the International Space Station. Right, amongst all of this. And you see, look at how many of these things are out there. And remember, you can't see this with the naked eye. Whatever these things are, they can only be seen with infrared, in the infrared spectrum. And another thing, because I've made a video about this before, but let me see if I can find the spot where it shows it stretching out into space. Yeah, right here.
They zoom with their incredible zoom in on it, and you see some of these spheres in front of the tether, and some of absolutely clearly, no problem at all, they're behind the tether. And if the tether's 12 miles, and these are half the size of the tether going behind it at 100 miles away, they're not specks of ice.
Yeah, see, another thing, right? Because they know exactly how long this thing is. This is 12 miles long, and they know the distance that it is from the space shuttle. They're able to determine the size of these, here, like this, like these things going by.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
I'm merely saying that,
Right, they can, let me go back to that.
What they can't. If you've ever seen a hornet, this tether, some of these spheres in front of the tether, and some of absolutely clearly, no problem at all, they're behind the tether. And if the tether's 12 miles, and these
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. So because they know the distance of this, they're able to determine the size of these things. And they have determined that these things are anywhere from 2 miles to 5 miles wide. Let me repeat that. These things are 2 miles to 5 miles wide. And they are all over the place. If you look up the footage, STS-75, I've done a video on it, but let me see. I think this is part of it here. Yeah, look at all of these. A lot of these things aren't stars. These are, whatever. Yeah, whatever these round things are. I mean, I liken them to like some type of space bovines, or some type of like like they're some kind of organism, but they're not they're not spaceships or anything like that. I think they're like these giant space creatures or animals, or something you want to call them, but I don't think they're necessarily that intelligent. There's some type of animal, like a space animal, but apparently they live in low Earth orbit. There's a bunch of them out there. Here, yeah, you can see them all moving around. So the people in the space shuttle, you know what? You can't see them with these things with the naked eye. You can only see these things in the infrared spectrum. So I think if you're in the space shuttle, you can't see them with your eyes, but apparently, these things are all over the place. And Martin also mentions in this where there's a spacewalk going on, and one of the astronauts tells the other astronaut, hey, you got this thing at your 10 o'clock. And the other astronaut's like, don't worry about it. It's like, and then he mentions like, look, when you're out in space and one astronaut says, hey, there's something you should be concerned about, and the other astronaut's like, don't worry about it. No. If there's something in space and it could be potentially life-threatening, you should be worried about it. So it's obvious that second astronaut was trying to deflect. And then later on, you hear Houston, telling these guys to stay on vector, to, basically to stop talking about those things. But this is an 1.5-hour video. I'll leave a link to it. I watched it yesterday. I mean, actually, this is probably my 3rd time watching this video. But it's very, very, very revealing. So I would definitely check it out. Let me go on to this next one. Yeah, this video here is also very interesting because it talks about the secret space shuttle and how they were all these payload specialists that would go up on some of these missions, and the payload specialists were basically spies working on secret military projects. Let me play a little bit of this.
Routine shuttle flights, they were actually being used to launch and track classified equipment, such as spy surveillance satellites. The first of these classified flights was STS-4 Columbia, launched on June 27, 1982. Its secret payload was known as Cryogenic Infrared Radiance Instrument for Shuttle, or CIRRUS, which was supposed to test infrared sensors for a future surveillance satellite called Teal Ruby. The second of these flights was STS-51C Discovery, launched on January 24, 1985. Curiously, for the first time in NASA history, there was no pre-launch public affairs commentary for this shuttle until 9 minutes before liftoff. Little is known of the shuttle's payload besides a vague sentence on the NASA website which reads, quote, "The U.S. Air Force Inertial Upper Stage IUS booster was deployed and met the mission objectives."
Anyways, I can't, play this whole thing, but it's 11 minutes. But again, this is revealing information here. So I'll put a link to that. You can check it out. This video, first real images of the sky on other planets. This is what the sky looks like on other planets. Like I said, this is Venus. This is actually what Venus looks like. This is the Venera probe sitting on the surface of Venus. But this whole video, it's 10 minutes. It has other photos of the surface.
What does the sky on the famous red planet look like? Unlike Mercury and the Earth's moon, Mars has an atmosphere, but it's extremely thin. In addition, the Martian atmosphere contains innumerable dust particles, which ensure that the light rays that hit the red planet are very strongly dispersed. This means that even during the day, no stars can be seen in the Mars sky despite the thin planet atmosphere.
Here, one thing about Mars' atmosphere. Mars' atmosphere is just like Earth's atmosphere. Here, I think at this point we know that NASA has been lying to us. Most government agencies routinely lie to us. Well, according to what I have read, Mars has a normal atmosphere just like Earth, and it has blue skies. It doesn't have this, red tint. The soil may definitely be red, but the atmosphere, it's a blue atmosphere just like Earth's. But anyways, check this video out. I'll leave a link in the description. Let me go on to this next video here. Yeah, this is talks about the 5 most mysterious and unexplained sea creatures. The first 4 are kind of boring and not really that interesting, but this one here is what I find the most interesting. Check this out.
Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Mariana Trench, it's thought to be the deepest part of any of the world's oceans and is located in the Western Pacific. Now, its precise depth is hazy, but it's thought the trench is about 6.8 miles deep. At these depths, it's hard to believe anything could survive, but surprisingly there are many fish and living organisms down there, which I will talk more about in a documentary about the Marianas Trench. Anyway, the Japanese scientists were studying an area not far from the trench called the Suruga Bay. They had submerged a container with special bait at a depth of around 1 mile, in hopes of capturing on camera whatever wanted to feed on it. This is a common way of videoing and identifying new and existing sea creatures. At first, the camera picked up a few small-known sea creatures, followed by a shoal of rare deep-sea sharks that measured 6 foot long. If this wasn't exciting enough for the researchers, the sharks scattered quickly and a huge creature came into view. Its size cannot be justified on the video footage, but the researchers said it would have been between 30 to 50 feet in length. Just know the Guinness World Record for the largest shark is 37 feet, so if the proportions the researchers have given are correct, this could be the largest shark ever recorded. Take a look.
Remember the size of the human that photo that they had of what a human would look like compared to this thing. And and this isn't the only footage of this. There is a dish or different footage of a similar creature. But I think this is a megalodon.
Scientists aren't exactly sure what type of shark it is, and people have said it could be the long thought to be extinct megalodon, the gigantic monster of the sea that lived over 2 million years ago and is labeled the largest, most powerful predator in history. But
well, that's it for this video. That's all I want to play. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out. This last link here, it talks about, there's 2 videos on here. It talks about, this polygonal construction. Here, look at this. Look at the size of this stone that the first people who started construction on planet Earth, this is what they started building. Okay, they just right out the bat, supposedly Neolithic man supposed to crawl out of the cave and then start cutting stones this big. I don't think so. I and and then there's this type of construction that's found on every single continent. Look, and at the cut or the cuts are so precise you can't put a piece of paper in there. Let's see. Yeah, here look at this polygonal wall, and and this is found in other places. I think this is in Athens or Greece or someplace, but this is also found in South America. And again, these are generally the bottom, the foundations. So these were the first stones built. And let's see, this video is the same thing. Talks about all of this similar. Oh yeah, this is Longview. Oh no, yeah, this is Longview Cave, Petra, India, right? So whatever was cutting this was leaving the same machine tools or the machine marks. You hear this is Longview Cave, but look at there was some machine that was cutting this, and you know what? That machine isn't around today, which means it probably left the planet. But one thing I want to point out, these are Earthlings. These are hunter-gatherers. Okay, these are people that. Okay, if you look at this representation here, this is how long humans have been on planet Earth. Each roll here represents 6,000 years. So for thousands and thousands of years, humans, okay, these people here, right? These people, the hunter-gatherers, okay, these are all hunter-gatherers, right? If you got into a time machine and came back to planet Earth at any time during this period, this is who you would run into. You would run into these people. And even during this period, as when suddenly Neolithic man just started growing crops all of a sudden, literally overnight, right? But these people didn't change. These people still continue to live their lives however it lives. So I believe that this architecture, this style of architecture came from another planet. Had to have. And another thing, the people that, especially in the Mediterranean, that built all of these things, for instance, the Minoans, the Mycenaeans, the Etruscans, all of those cultures, those early civilizations around the Mediterranean that built these amazing structures, look, they didn't have melanin in their skin like all of these other Earthlings do. These are Earthlings. They have melanin in their skin. Why are there people who are on this planet with a completely different culture that's unlike all the other cultures on planet Earth? And none of these cultures here are building megaliths. Okay? These people don't have a history of building megaliths. So where did the knowledge and the skill required to build megaliths come from? Right, required to build these things. I propose that it was brought here intact. The whole notion of Western civilization, of European culture, I think that was brought from another planet. And the reason why I believe that is because none of these people, okay, these are the people that have been living on every continent on this planet. And and here, when people talk about, oh, well, if you live in the snow, you don't need melanin. Well, no, these people live in the snow. Their entire civilization has existed in the snow. They have melanin in their skin still. So, yeah, that's that. Like I said, this is a very interesting representation of how humans have developed. And all of a sudden, like literally overnight, we just started farming. And like all of these cultures all say, like who taught you to farm? They always point up, or they always say, you know, the angels taught us, or the sky people taught us how to farm. To me, you know, that to me indicates that, yeah, the whole notion of the European or Western culture, agriculture, that was brought here from another planet. And again, you know, because the people that did build all of this, they didn't have melanin in their skin. I would propose that they came from a planet that was further away from a sun, so they didn't need melanin. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.